Hello YouTube, and welcome you on this fine day. Today we are going to have a look at Jumpstart, specifically the cards to craft from Jumpstart if you want to consider playing historic Brawl. So, first and foremost, this coming list is based on a combination of how good the respective cards themselves are, right? Like, a really good card is obviously high on this list. How many decks come around them, so you don't feel bad about crafting a card and then just having that card sit around because you decide to play other decks. And then how good these cards are in their respective decks, because there are cards that are so amazingly good that if you want to make an archetype, you have to craft this card, period. Also, I'm going to exclude cards like Galta, Primal Hunger, because those have been reprinted inside of Magic Arena, because Galta, for example, has been printed in Ixalan, so I'm excluding cards like Galta here. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the list with the first card, Languish. So, Languish, 4 mana, Black Sweeper. Enough said, right? It's a really good card. Like, white already has access to a lot of sweepers, so if you're in black-white something, you probably won't need this. But every other black control deck that's like not running white really wants this, because there are not many non-white sweepers that are actually good. And Language will probably be staying relevant in the long run as well, because considering the history of Magic, it is still one of the better black sweepers and one of the best at 4 mana anyways. And yeah, so I really like the card, and yeah, you should craft it. That's the point of this video, right? Next up, number 9, Isamaru, Hound of Konda. Okay, hear me out. This card looks really boring, but if you have ever tried to make a white aggressive deck in Magic Arena, you will quickly notice how shitty most of the 1-drops are. Like, you don't notice it when you try to build white weenies in Historic, because you can put 4 copies of cards in there, right? But if we look at single and aggressive cards, Isamaru is and will probably stay relevant for a long time in the white aggressive lists, because it's simply overstated. It's a 1 mana 2/2, like, really good card. Also, you can run him as a commander. It is an option. I don't think it's the greatest option, but yeah, you can make a fun white aggressive deck around him, right? So that's my number 9 pick. Number 8. So now we're cheating a little bit. We have Goblin Chiefrain, Muxus Goblin Grande, and Cranko Mob Boss. And like, you see where I'm going with this, right? These are absolutely insane goblins, all 3 from Jumpstart, and Chieftain, like, probably the most important one is the Cranko, then the Muxus, and the Chieftain, right? But all these 3 cards are so insane in goblins. Or, like, if you want to make goblins, craft these cards ASAP. If you don't, just ignore them, right? It's basically that, right? If you want to make goblins, craft these cards. These are really amazing in goblin decks, and Muxus and Cranko can be your commander, so you even have a really good mono-red commander, or maybe an actual goblin synergizing commander, right? Next up, number 7, we're stretching it a little bit, but for the last time, I promise. Elvish Archdruid and Allosaurus Shepherd, and the Archdruid is probably the better one of those. And same thing goes here with the Cranko, Muxus, Goblin Chieftain thingy, but this time for elves. Like, if you want to craft elves, the Archdruid is a must craft, and Shepherd is also really good as a finisher, but some decks don't run him. But yeah, overall, also really good card. It's a finisher. It's really good against blue decks. It's amazing, and Archdruid can just generate absurd amounts of mana, like just your average 15 mana turn and whatnot, right? Next up, number 6. This time for a more broad archetype, being lands, with Oracle of Mul Daya. Oracle of Mul Daya will probably always be relevant in land decks in Historic Brawl, because, again, one of the best lands cards ever printed anyways, so yeah, this will probably always stay relevant in land decks. Additional land drops, peeling the lands from the top of your deck, generating value. This card has it all. If you like land-centric decks, this is the card for you. Then, if you like black decks in general, Phyrexian Tower is the card for you, because most black decks will probably run this card. Like, even if you're not full on sacrifice, like I have an Elf Ball Umori deck, like just Elf Ball with black splashed in for interaction, and the Phyrexian Tower is really good there because that can enable a turn to Umori with land elves into tapping, floating the mana, sacrificing with Phyrexian Tower, playing a land, and Umori turn 2, right? That's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, this is also so high on the list just because it's a land. And lands are always welcome in the game. And you can't really go wrong with crafting lands, really. Next up, number 4. And if you like this card is the card for you with Tiny Bones, Trinket Thief. Yeah, really an all-star, really strong commander, a really fun commander. I will probably make a video on him later on. I already have a deck for him. I'm of like the people from the Historic Brawl Discord already know the deck, right? And it's already a bit old for my decks because I've created for a week ago or something like that. But this deck, like Tiny Bones, creates is a commander that creates a whole new archetype that wasn't really available. Yes, this card was available, but it was shit. Like, no lying, like it was bad. But this card makes this card really being good. And yeah, so discard decks, if you like them, craft Tiny Bones. If not, let it be. And next up on the list, this is probably a bit weird one for me. It's Bruvar the Grandilega. And this is only so high up on the list, well, apart from the fact that if you want to play Mil, you have to craft this even if it's not your commander, right? This is so high up on the list just because if you craft this guy, you pretty much have a whole deck together. Because with advisors, he's an advisor, so you play persistent petitioners, like 22 of them, counter spells, and that's your deck, right? Because he's also an advisor and can be tapped for the petitioners, and that's a really, really fast mill deck. Like you're usually decked out on turn 5 to 6, and yeah, like that's a really strong deck. So the way this card is good to craft is, would you spend 1 mythic to get a whole deck? This is basically what it boils down to, and I probably would. I also did, right? But you should craft him if you like Mill, or if you're just on a super tight budget, which you probably are, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. Yeah, a nice card. Whole deck, essentially, in one card, and really nice. And next up, number 2, we have a card that is very flexible, very versatile. So he's playing a lot of decks, infinite combo ramp, whatnot. It's Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. She can be your commander. She can be in the 59. She's really good in the Caterhoof deck, like one of the cornerstone cards that I've put out with the infinite combos and all the good stuff. And yeah, she's just amazing. You can do degenerate things with her as your commander, and you can do degenerate things with her on like in the 59. And she's also an elf, so she's also relevant in elf decks. Like, what's not to love, right? It's a really strong card, and also green. A trend that we have seen. Usually the top cards are green, as is the number 1. And it's not a legendary, and to no surprise, it's Craterhoof Behemoth. This card is a beast, literally. And also, this card is just amazing. Any green combo deck ever will probably run this. Like if you have a cheat out combo style deck, this is your finisher. This is infinitely better than Endrace Forerunners, because this will actually kill the opponent if you have 3 creatures and the Craterhoof will just tickle them. Not Craterhoof, Endrace Forerunners. But yeah, one of the best green cards ever printed. We won't likely ever see a better green finisher than Craterhoof Behemoth. And yeah, if you like Elf Ball, if you like Selvala as a commander, because that's also pretty good there, right? But if you like any like abusive green strategy that is really degenerate, cheats out, and slaps face in Kinnan, like it's also so insane in Kinnan, because Kinnan plays a ton of mana drugs and just comes out on turn 3 and kills the opponent. Right? This can actually kill the opponent on turn 3 with Selvala or Kinnan and whatnot. It's absolutely nutty. So yeah, one of the best cards ever printed in green. And you're going to love it. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the list. I'm out.